Hello everyone, Dr. Suneel Dhand, internal medicine physician. Welcome to another video. Of course now, most of the world has really moved on from the pandemic. We are over 3 years into it. Most people have completely forgotten about it. Not vast sections, however, of the US medical establishment, who are still very much focused on this and making quite remarkable statements. I wonder why. Let me share with you a statement that was made very recently by a top FDA official. So this article was published in MedPage today, and I will share the link with you down below. It was published last week. Leading government scientists and industry experts spoke here on Tuesday about the next jab, rising hesitancy, and what the shots of the future might look like. Choosing a jab for next winter is going to be a challenge, said Peter Marks, the director of the FDA Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research. Peter Marks seems to be someone that we're hearing a lot about recently. He seems to be a very influential figure in public policy. What's important, first and foremost, is the jab's breadth, and second is its duration. Well, of course, that is obvious. I think people will get an annual jab if they think it's going to protect them broadly. Where we get into problems is when something is a mismatch and we don't have good protection. It takes 2 to 3 months to manufacture mRNA jabs. So this means the composition will need to be decided sometime around June, which is only 2 months' time. Well, 2 to 3 months is certainly a remarkably quick turnaround time, and that's certainly much quicker than what we were used to pre-2020. And here we have Paul Burton, the Chief Medical Officer for Moderna, also weighing in with his thoughts as he seeks to rapidly make a product to benefit the health and well-being of all Americans. Then they talk about how the ideal scenario would be a jab that completely stops transmission. I don't know how they plan to do that with a common respiratory virus. Indeed, they mention here, people have been looking to produce one for influenza transmission for the last 10 years, and we still don't have that one. Well, because scientifically, this is of course nearly impossible for an easily spread respiratory pathogen. It's like trying to produce an antidote to Staphylococcus aureus or Streptococcus bacteria. Stopping transmission for certain pathogens is basically impossible. What you want to do, obviously, is focus on the disease. And of course, they talk about the issue of hesitancy, which is so widespread now among millions of people. Hesitancy. They talk about how it's the greatest catastrophe of the pandemic, the erosion of confidence. The hesitancy, instead of waning with the pandemic, appears to be crossing over to other illnesses. And all of the opposition right now. Rebuilding trust in a country as polarized as the US is difficult. But I really want to focus on a particular statement from Peter Marks. As for mandates, Marks said that while the US needs a reset, that isn't a solution. Well, I'm glad that he finally realizes that mandates are not a solution, probably because he's had so much pushback, as have the authorities. Millions and millions of people have said that mandates are unacceptable. I'm past trying to argue with people who think that jabs are bad. I think we just have to take our case that this is something that can save your life to those who want to have their life saved. Indeed, that is the title of this piece. FDA official is over mandates. Focus should now be on those who want to have their life saved. So did you all hear that from one of the top officials in this country, one of the top public health officials? If you don't listen to the advice, then you don't want to have your life saved. You better listen to this advice or else. I don't know where to start with this type of statement and how it typifies so much of the last 3 years. First and foremost, think about this. The FDA, as far as I was aware, is a regulatory agency. Why are officials at the FDA getting involved in this area, in pushing medical therapeutics and formulating policy? What should it have to do with the FDA? Secondly, the United States as a country is a country which doesn't even give its citizens basic healthcare. Millions and millions of people are uninsured or underinsured. So many people go bankrupt every year. 70% of all bankruptcies in this country are from medical bills. Let's contrast this to other countries in mainland Europe, which give their citizens top-notch healthcare and have governments that really do care about the health and well-being of all of their citizens. Why would the United States be pushing so hard in this area, and these countries in mainland Europe that have excellent reputations for the health and well-being of their countries not be pushing so hard in this area? Ask yourself that question. Then, is what the FDA official said there, Peter Marks, his statement, is it backed up with any evidence? Are there any randomized controlled trials which could back up the extreme claim that he is making, that if you don't do what he says and take this jab, then you don't want your life saved? Is there any evidence at all? Calling for an answer. If you know of any controlled trials, then let me know, because I'm not aware of any at all. Lastly, this typifies the sheer arrogance of our public health authorities. This type of statement. They've literally learned nothing at all. Imagine a doctor talk like this to their patient. Maybe there are some doctors out there who talk this way. If you don't listen to me, if you don't do what I say, take this drug or undergo this surgery, then you don't want your life saved. You better listen to me or else. I am sure that confidence in public health in the United States will continue to plummet. And of course, we all know what the next line of attack is from public health authorities. Rather than look themselves in the mirror and realize who the real misinformation spreaders are and what the real reasons are for this lack of trust in authorities, rather than self-reflect and ask questions like intelligent beings, what are they going to do? They are going to blame misinformation. Watch this space. They're going to go on the attack and say that anyone who disagrees with what they are saying is guilty of listening to or spreading misinformation. Of course, that's what they're going to do next, because that is the typical default next step from our public health authorities. I was stunned by that statement from Peter Marks, but really it shouldn't surprise us at all. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree with what I am saying here, or do you disagree? Do you agree with Peter Marks? Because unlike our public health officials, I am okay with being challenged, with people disagreeing with me. That's completely fine. So either way, let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks everyone for listening. Check out my online academy and my Uncensored platform. Those links are down below. Remember, huge swathes of healthcare and medicine are completely and utterly corrupted. And one of the best things you can do to stay away from mainstream medicine and from doctors is to take charge of your own health and your family's health. Be empowered, be educated, do all these simple things right, like minimizing processed foods and sugars, foods that come in packages that are artificial, that are fake foods that your body is not built for. Eat real foods, exercise at every single opportunity, and do everything you can to be as healthy as possible. That's always the best way forward. Best to avoid any contact with mainstream medicine and doctors. Thanks everyone again. Hit the like button if you like this video and the bell button for more similar videos in the future. And we will talk again very soon.